Resilience, it's a buzzword we hear all the time, but what if the way we talk about it is all wrong? Today we're diving into a controversial quote that's challenging our understanding of perseverance and mental health.
Oh, that sounds intriguing. What's the quote we're discussing?
Well, it goes like this. Now listen to me. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care what you're going through. If you're not dead, he ain't through with you yet. As long as you're waking up, you're still in the game. It's a powerful statement that's been making waves on social media, sparking intense debates about resilience and mental health.
Wow, that's quite a provocative message. What do you think is the core idea here?
The essence of it seems to be about perseverance in the face of adversity. It's saying that no matter what challenges you're facing, whether it's illness, personal struggles, or any other hardship, as long as you're alive, you have a purpose and a reason to keep going. It's a tough love approach, for sure.
I can see how that could be motivating for some people, but it also seems potentially dismissive of real struggles. How do you think this message compares to more scientific approaches to resilience?
That's an excellent question. While this quote takes a more colloquial and direct approach, many of its underlying principles actually align with psychological research on resilience. For instance, studies have shown that maintaining a sense of purpose and viewing challenges as opportunities for growth can significantly enhance resilience. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Counseling Psychology found that interventions focusing on meaning-making and cognitive reframing were among the most effective in building resilience.
That's fascinating. So even though the delivery is different, the core message isn't too far off from what mental health professionals might recommend.
In some ways, yes, but it's important to note that professional approaches would typically be more nuanced and tailored to individual needs. They would also emphasize the importance of self-care and seeking help when needed, which isn't explicitly mentioned in this quote. For example, the American Psychological Association stresses that resilience involves behaviors, thoughts, and actions that can be learned and developed by anyone. It's not just about toughing it out.
That's a crucial point. While the message of perseverance is valuable, it shouldn't come at the expense of acknowledging when we need support or professional help. Do you think there's a way to balance these perspectives?
Absolutely. I think we can interpret this quote as a call to acknowledge our struggles while not letting them define us or limit our potential. It's not about ignoring our pain, but rather about finding the strength to keep moving forward despite it. This aligns with the concept of post-traumatic growth, which suggests that people can experience positive psychological changes as a result of highly challenging life circumstances.
That's an interesting connection. Can you tell us more about post-traumatic growth?
Sure thing. Post-traumatic growth is a fascinating psychological phenomenon. It was first described by psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun in the 1990s. Essentially, it's the idea that some people who endure psychological struggle following adversity can actually see positive growth afterward. A study published in the Journal of Traumatic Stress found that up to 70% of trauma survivors report some form of positive change.
Wow, that's a surprisingly high percentage. What kind of positive changes are we talking about?
Well, these changes can manifest in various ways. People often report a greater appreciation for life, more meaningful relationships, increased personal strength, recognition of new possibilities, and spiritual development. It's important to note, though, that post-traumatic growth doesn't negate the pain and difficulty of traumatic experiences. It's more about finding meaning and strength through the struggle.
That's really powerful. It seems like this quote, in its own way, is pushing people towards that kind of growth. But I'm curious about the cultural context. The language used suggests it might come from a specific community or background. How do you think that affects our interpretation?
You're right on the money there. The use of vernacular English does suggest a specific cultural context, likely African American vernacular, English, AAVE. This cultural background adds depth to the message, as it may be coming from a community that has historically faced significant challenges and discrimination. It reminds me of the concept of soul force that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. often spoke about, the idea of inner strength and resilience in the face of adversity.
That's an important point. It's fascinating how a few simple sentences can contain so much cultural and historical weight. Do you think this kind of message has particular relevance in today's society?
Absolutely. In an era where we're facing global challenges like climate change, political unrest, and and the ongoing effects of the pandemic, messages of resilience and perseverance, are more relevant than ever. This quote, in its direct and uncompromising way, speaks to the human capacity to endure and overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. You know, it's interesting to consider how different generations might receive this message.
That's a great point. How do you think younger people, who are often characterized as being more open about mental health issues, would respond to this kind of tough love approach?
Well, that's a thought-provoking question. Younger generations, particularly Gen Z and millennials, have indeed been at the forefront of destigmatizing mental health discussions. They might appreciate the raw honesty of the message, but could also be more critical of its seemingly dismissive tone towards personal struggles. A survey by the American Psychological Association found that Gen Z adults were more likely than other generations to report their mental health as fair or poor, with 27% saying so.
So it's possible that while the core message of resilience might resonate, the delivery could be a point of contention?
Exactly. Younger generations might prefer a message that balances encouragement with acknowledgement of mental health realities. They might argue for an approach that says, your struggles are valid, but you have the strength to overcome them, rather than, I don't care what you're going through. It's a reminder that while the essence of resilience is timeless, the way we talk about it evolves with our understanding of mental health and well-being.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not about dismissing these powerful messages, but about understanding them in a broader context of mental health and well-being. How do you think social media plays into this?
Social media, now that's a whole other can of worms. The viral nature of social media can amplify messages of hope and resilience, potentially inspiring millions. However, it can also lead to the proliferation of what some critics call toxic positivity, the idea that we should always maintain a positive outlook, even in the face of genuine hardship. A study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies found that excessive positive thinking can actually have negative effects on well-being.
That's really interesting. So, how do we strike a balance? How can we share messages of resilience and perseverance without falling into the trap of toxic positivity?
I think the key lies in context and nuance. While a quote like the one we're discussing can be powerful, it's important to present it as part of a larger conversation about resilience. We need to acknowledge that perseverance is vital, but so is self-care, seeking help when needed, and recognizing the validity of our struggles. It's about finding that sweet spot between encouragement and realism.
Well said. And as we wrap up our discussion today, what do you think are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Great question. I think the main takeaway is that resilience is a complex and nuanced concept. While messages like the quote we discussed can be motivating, it's crucial to understand them in a broader context of mental health and well-being. Resilience isn't about ignoring our pain or struggling alone, it's about finding the strength to keep moving forward, whether that's through our own determination, the support of loved ones, or professional help when needed. And
that's a great summary. And I think it's important to remember that everyone's journey is different. What works for one person might not work for another.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, the message is clear. As long as we're here, we have the opportunity to grow, to overcome, and to make a difference. We're still in the game, and that's something worth celebrating and embracing. But let's do so with compassion, understanding, and a holistic approach to mental health and well-being.
Beautifully put. And on that note, we'll leave our listeners to reflect on their own resilience and the challenges they've overcome. Remember, you're stronger than you think, and there's always hope as long as you're still in the game.